Chapter 13, the Ancient Greece. We're going to start with Note-Taking Study Guide, page 157, the Aegean World. This is really answering the question of how did geography affect the development, and specifically its economy. Geography has an impact, that we've seen, on how cultures and countries and nations develop. And and Greece is no different. And Greece had a specific, unique economy. A unique geography compared to the rest of the civilizations that we have studied so far. First, most of Greece is a large peninsula that sits between Europe, Africa, and Asia. And this meant that the location, it was a crossroads for people and commerce at ancient time. If you look at page 359 in your textbook, you see a map of Greece, and you can see how it really was. It juts out into the middle of the Mediterranean, so a lot of Mediterranean Sea trade went that way, and then it also, people went through it to trade with the rest of Europe as well. And a rugged landscape, most of the land covered with steep and rocky mountains. This had a number of effects. First, it was good for grazing sheep and goats, but it limited farming. And that meant that Greece could not grow much grain. Also, the mountains separated Greek city-states from one another, and so Greece never really united into one single country for a long period of time. You had individual city-states, individual little kingdoms that arose because of the mountainous terrain. The next thing is the Greek peninsula was a rocky coastline, and it was bordered by three bodies of water. And if you look at the map, you can see that the Ionian Sea, the Aegean Sea, and the Mediterranean Sea. Most Greek towns were located less than 16 miles from the sea, so it's very, and this enabled people to engage in fishing and trade. And the seas surrounding Greece contained hundreds and hundreds of islands. And so people inhabited these islands for thousands of years. The Minoan Civilization was the first, Europeans' first civilization. It emerged on the island of Crete. And if you look at your map again in 359, you can see the island of Crete directly kind of south of Greece. That was the first civilization that arose in Europe. Next is the climate. The climate is Mediterranean, much like California, actually. The climate is in winter is mild and wet, and the climate in summer is hot and dry. And we consider Southern California Mediterranean climate. It made it difficult to grow shallow root crops such as grain. So the mountains made it hard to dry grain, and the climate also made it hard to grow grain. But it was ideal for growing crops such as olive trees and grapes. And there's a typo there, but grapes. And this meant that basically you have Greek city-states couldn't grow grain, but could grow commodities for trade. And so you're going to see that the Greek world, the Greek civilization rose up, and it was very much because and dependent on trade. They got grain, and they traded olive oil and wine for grain.